Lieutenant Colonel Luka and Rasoa Khayumbi at today's show. Thank you very much and welcome. You are now 1 month old into your appointment as the Chief Secretary and the Territorial Secretary for Women Ministry. How is the going? Starting with you, Chief.
Thank you very much, Captain David Odanga, for giving us the opportunity to share on how we have picked up our new roles, particularly myself as the Territorial Chief Secretary for the Kenya West Territory. I want to say that I have settled in very well in the office of the Chief Secretary. I took over this office on the 1st of August, and for the 1 month that I've been in the office, I have been able to do much work, and I thank God for that.
Good. And what of you, TSWM? Well, that is very good. And we are happy for you that you got this chance to serve God in your capacities. Now, can you briefly share with us how God called you for officership? Maybe I'll start with you, TSWM.
David, I want to say that from the word go, I was born in a Christian family. I was brought up in Pentecostal Assemblies of God, and my father was an overseer in that church. And from that time we were children, we grew up in a godly environment whereby we were trained to fear God and to fear even those people who are older than us. And even when I joined school, I joined a Christian union, and I loved being in the presence of God. And when I was growing up as a child, I was feeling something telling me that I need to serve God. And I thank God when I got married to this handsome man, it happened that we joined together, or we matched very well, and that's when we started preparing to get into the Salvation Army training as officers.
Sure, differently.
Yes.
Thank you very much. What of you, Chief?
Thank you very much. I want to say that I was born in a Christian family.
Yeah.
My parents were staunch Salvationists.
Yeah.
Right from the beginning, I grew up as a God-fearing young man.
Yeah.
And when I was in school, all my time was devoted in putting God first in everything. I would read the Bible, I would pray, looking at the family background that God would also raise me spiritually so that I would serve Him faithfully in the days to come. And after school and after work, I managed to marry this beautiful lady that you see next to me, whom I found that also she had been born in a Christian family, her parents being leaders in the Pentecostal church. And with that desire that I had to be a Salvation Army officer, in 1985, I gave myself for the first time to be a candidate for Officers Training College as a single man. But then my parents urged me to continue with the studies. And after my A-level and after work, and then after marrying my wife, we both joined together and joined the Officers Training College. We were in the session of the Messengers of Hope, 1993, 1994.
Okay.
And we thank God, particularly myself, for having given my life to Christ in 1981 to serve Him in this way.
Okay, that's very good. God in different capacities. I know you've been corps officers, You've also served as chaplains and administrators in Salvation Army schools, and also I made to understand that you served in Kenya East, particularly Kenya East and Kenya West, also at the territorial headquarters, and also division leaders at division in Kenya West. How has it been?
I would say that all the appointments that we've received right from the time we were commissioned in 1994 have been of great help to our future ministry. One appointment to the other, we have been able to learn much that has helped us in the next appointment. We were co-officers right from the beginning. We served in the coast in 2 corps. We were then appointed as administrator and chaplain of the schools for the Salvation Army, Joytown in Thika. We were tutors at the Officers Training College. And most of my appointment particularly has been rotating around the Secretary for Program. After having been posted to the headquarters in Kenya East, I found myself landing in the office of the Secretary for Program as Territorial Secretary for Program in 2009. The appointment that I served for 3 years. But then I also found myself in the same appointment in South Africa from 2012 to 2015. Coming from South Africa, returning home in Kenya West, I thought I had done with that appointment. But then, after serving as Divisional Commander in Chigomere, I also found myself as Secretary for Program in the Kenya West Territory. So all this has been helping us to gain more knowledge, more wisdom, and skills in leading God's people. Thank you.
That is very interesting that you've been for several times. That is very good, and you've been serving God that way. What of you, TSWM?
Mine has been like a different story a little bit, but in course we served together as corps officers and chaplain in school, and then after that we went to the training college where we were tutors. And on the training college we also have different or various appointments, and therefore I thank God because I served God in various appointments like assistant education officer, worship coordinator, health officer, and also with the different leaders at the training college. And therefore that being with the different leaders really also helped me to mold me, because you know not all leaders are the same.
Sure.
And then from there, when we went to work on THQ in the then larger Kenya territory, I was appointed in the women ministries also in various capacities. I have served as the Territorial Secretary for Women Development. I have served as the Territorial Home League Secretary. I have served as Territorial Junior Home League Secretary, and there is a time I even also hold 2 roles, the Territorial Home League Secretary and the Junior Home League Secretary. And then after that, I received a change of appointment, and my change of appointment came while I was in ICO, when I had gone there for 3 months to develop my spirituality. And when I came back, I was appointed as the candidate secretary, the role which I took for 1 year, and then after that I was reappointed back to women ministry. And then from there, that's when we were sent on international service, and now there things changed, and I want to thank God very much, because now I changed this appointment. I was now appointed into the personnel office, something that I had never done, and that appointment has also helped me and molded me very much. And after that, when I came back to Kenya after serving in South Africa for 3 years, when we came back in Kenya, I was also appointed as Assistant Secretary for Personnel and also HR and extension training officer. So sometimes I ask myself, where was I getting all this energy? But I want to thank God because His grace is always sufficient. He enabled me during that time, and I did my work very well to satisfaction. Then from there, that's when I was appointed as a TTWM, the role which I hold for 2.5 years. Then I came back to extension training officer again. So in my service, it's like I have been repeating appointments, something that is not very common. And then so far, I want to thank God because now I'm also back in women ministry as the territorial secretary for women ministries.
Oh, that is very good. You've gained a lot of experience. To you, Chief.
Yes.
Kenya West Territory is among the biggest territory around the world.
Yes.
And we thank God that we have got it's growing, it's really growing because of the immense growth of the soldiers we are having now. What is your message to the Salvationists and also officers of Kenya West Territory?
We are proud of our Kenya West Territory. As you mentioned, this is one of the largest territories in the world in the Salvation Army. And my message to the officers is that we want to work together as a team to grow this territory even to greater heights so that it continues to be the best in the world. Very many people have loved Kenya West, and we want that to continue even in the days to come. And I know that we can do this when we work together as a team, when we can support one another, when we can help the young officers, leaders, to grow into that leadership roles so that in future also they can continue the work of God in the Kenya West. For soldiers, I want to request that also they commit themselves into serving God together with the officers. They support the officers in their various cause, growing the soldiers that are also coming into the Salvation Army, the young ones, so that the numbers can continue to grow, and that will give glory to God.
And up to now?
As per now, we have 589 corps in the Kenya West Territory.
That shows growth.
Yes.
And to you, TSWM, Kenya West Territory also commands large following of Home League members and junior Home League members. Any message you have for them?
The truth of the matter is that in any church, women always exceed women in number. And we thank God for the women ministry in this territory. As women ministry, we don't work as alone. We don't work alone. We work with the help of the directors of women ministries who are in our commands. And therefore, what I can say is that if we work together in unity, as the Bible tells us in the book of Corinthians, that one body has many parts, but each part has its importance. So as women, each one of them is a part of this women ministry. And therefore, my message to them is that we just work in unity and in love and in harmony, and we are going to do great things for our Kenya West Territory.
Women command a very big following in our churches, and in all churches in particular. And now, to you, Chief, during the self-denial in gathering, I think it was last month, people were very, very encouraged when they heard that Kenya West Territory is rated green by the international headquarters. That shows that Kenya West Territory is stable, probably financially, on other things. How are you going to maintain this as the second in command in the territory?
Yes. I want to say that we are looking forward to maintaining this status in the days to come.
Yeah.
And we will do this particularly in working with the divisional commanders and district officers and officers, so that we have training to our people on the ground to understand the importance of giving to God, so that we can continue to grow and maintain the green status that we have attained in the Kenya West. I know that when we are working together as a team, we will be able to do this. There is nothing that is impossible unto God. We can do all things through Christ who strengthens us. And despite the fact that the corona pandemic has brought some challenges in this year, but we thank God because our people have been stable even in giving to maintain the green status that we have obtained. What I'm going to do is I will very much focus on transparency and accountability in all areas of our working. In the financial matters, we would want to see transparency at the divisional level, in the core level. If we do that, so that our people know what is being done, then they will be able to do even much better than they have done in the past.
Okay. New appointment as the TSWM, what are now your dreams and your vision in the women ministry?
I have various dreams, and when we read the history of the Salvation Army, there is a time when the son to the founder, Bramwell Booth, ran to his father and told him that I have seen men sleeping under the bridges in the cold. And when the father, who is the founder, William Booth, heard that, he told him, okay, now you have seen, go and do something.
Sure.
So my dream, one of my dreams is that I want to see a women or an army which is doing something, something that is different from what has been done in the past. In whatever small way it may be, whether they are leaders, whether they are officers, whether they are salvationists, each one of them should be doing something to raise our army from this height to the next height. Another dream is to see an army which is spiritually filled. I want to see people who are loving God indeed. People who are preaching water and taking water, not people who are preaching water and taking wine. So that is my dream. I also have a dream of seeing people working in unity, because together we stand and together we can achieve many more things, because it is well known that no one is an island. And therefore, if we unite and put our strengths and our talents together, we are going to raise this army from one level to another. So that's what I'm dreaming.
Oh, good. Hopes and dreams. And also, I want you to talk something about the men's fellowship also.
Yes.
Yeah.
That for a family to stand, the man must be able to take care of his family in the right way. A man who knows God will make his family to know God, and to be a firm family. Many of the marriages are broken because men do not know God. And in our churches we have very few men, while many are outside God's kingdom. My dream is to work with the divisional commanders and the corps officers who are men to revive the men ministry in this territory. to have training for men, to have seminars for men, to have fellowship for men, so that they can know God more and be able to care for their family and to prepare their spiritual life for Christ. On the other hand, I also want to do my best in developing the young officers for future leadership. I will do my best to see that I encourage the young officers, where possible, to advance in their studies, so that they can be able to meet the needs of the people that they are serving. And this will also help them when interacting with other people, even those that are not salvationists, can be able to fit in very, very well. My other dream is to see that our cause are growing financially and even people spiritually. We also want to see that the recent launched territorial strategic plan is implemented. Because last year, when we went around the territory gathering views for formulation of our territorial strategic plan, our people shared with us a lot of what they want to see in this territory, the army they want to see in the future. And all that is listed in our territorial strategic plan that was launched recently and that will run up to 2025. So this will be key in my leadership. I will try my best to see that all that is listed there is followed one by one, to see that we implement that for the growth of this territory. Kenya West is now about 11 or 12 years old since the two territories were created. But again, this year as a Kenya territory, together with the Kenya East, we will be celebrating 100 years since the Salvation Army entered in Kenya. We want to see this celebration one of the best, where it will be a God-glorifying event, where we will see many giving their life to Christ because of the message they will receive. So that we just don't celebrate 100 years, but 100 years with a mark, where we will say many people were lured into the kingdom of God when we celebrated 100 years.
Celebration next year, and I made to understand that these celebrations will be in Nairobi.
Yes.
Yeah. So most of our people from Kenya West will be traveling in Nairobi for the celebrations. Now, I wanted to maybe ask you about the current issues in the country.
Yes.
You are aware this issue of COVID-19 and also what is going around the country about things to do with corruption. What is your take as the Chief Secretary, and or what message do you have to the government and also to people of Kenya?
As leaders of the church and citizens in Kenya, we condemn corruption. Because corruption will make many people to suffer. The funds that are taken by an individual person in a wrong way would have assisted somebody somewhere who is in a great need. And I would say that in the days to come, as part of the Salvation Army leadership, I will not tolerate corruption. My
final comments that I can share with our viewers is that, and my salvationists, wherever they are, is that we need to understand that Salvation Army is like a big forest, whereby we have big trees, we have small trees, we have other trees that creep onto others, and therefore we all benefit from one another. There is no one who is important. All of us are equal before the eyes of God. And therefore I just want to call upon each one of them with whatever talent that they have been given just the way all kinds of trees in the forest, whether small, whether big, they are all beneficial and they make this forest to be called a forest. Any talents they have to use it to benefit the army and to glorify God. Because all of us are created in the image of God, and before God, all of us are equal. And we were created to benefit one another.
That is true.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, I have also another message to all parents, the church leaders, and even other leaders from the secular world about our girls who are at home. We all know that COVID-19 bring a standstill to many things, including our schools. And therefore, our girls are at home, from the universities, from secondary school, and even from primary school. They are all at home. My message to them is that let us join forces to ensure that these girls are secured. We can have small groupings whereby we can talk to them and remind them that girls are very delicate, that they really need to take care of themselves, and share with them a message from the Bible to encourage them to be patient, so that when schools resume, we will be happy to see all of them going back to school, not to hear that some are at home because they got pregnant, or they became sick, or they were involved in other things that are not good. No. So my message is that let us join forces and make sure that our girls are secure.
Good. Yeah. We are having for the salvationists, officers, and even the citizens of the Republic of Kenya.
First to the officers and the salvationists. For the last 1 month that I've been in the office of the Chief Secretary, I want to appreciate each one of them for the prayers that they've been offering towards us. We have been receiving encouraging words from them, that they are praying for us, that they are ready to support us. And this is what I want to encourage them to continue doing even the days to come. When you hear that somebody is praying for you and is supporting you, then you get the strength to do even better than before. So that is the message I would have to the salvationists and the officers. To the citizens of Kenya, this country needs leaders who are committed to serving other people. We cannot all be leaders. Those who are appointed into positions of leaders should be ready to serve those under them without discrimination of any kind, without segregation of any kind, be it on tribal basis, be it on a religious basis. Serve everyone equally, and God will be pleased with such kind of leaders.
Allowing us to come to your office for this interview. May God help you and lead you in your new appointment, and we know that we'll do very well. Thank you, and God bless you.
Amen.
Thank you.